Well, good damn afternoon, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Let's handle some business, shall we? China's real estate bubble is absolutely collapsing. In 2008, the subprime mortgage crisis nearly ended modern capitalism. Housing was 8% of the US GDP, while housing is 25% of China's. This is an epic meltdown, and it's just the beginning. Meanwhile, in the United States, inflation is so high that the Federal Reserve is talking about raising interest rates further, choking the credit out of the economy completely. Everything is expensive. Gold is perfect for this environment, but it is near an all-time high already. So I want to present a company called Gold Mining Inc., trading on the New York Stock Exchange under the ticker GLDG. The reason is that this is a company that trades at multi-year lows, extremely cheap. Their gold resources are only worth $1 an ounce. If you go to wealthresearchgroup.com/cheap gold, there's an entire presentation explaining how this company is effectively 80% or 90% more discounted than anything out there. If you're bullish on the gold market, I urge you to stop everything you're doing and download this carefully drafted report now. Gold Mining Inc. is a junior resource company trading under the symbol GOLD on the TSX Venture Exchange, the GLDLF on the OTC markets. The company is focused on the acquisition, exploration, and development of resource stage gold projects in the Americas. So make sure you check out Gold Mining Inc. And I approve this message. And remember, there's always risk when investing. There's always a risk. Past gains are not indicative of future gains. Remember that, people. What's up? An off schedule. I think you could say an off schedule live today. I said, fuck it. It's my channel. I can do shit like that. So why not today? Wanted to hang out. Shout out to everybody in the comments. Appreciate you populating it already. Shout out to everyone out there who's viewing. I appreciate it. It looks like, yeah, I knew it. Mark's music obsession has popped the super chat cherry. Thank you, Mark. He says cherry popped. That's right, man. You're broken with financial hymen. Shannon Love says, hi, y'all, from South Carolina. Shout out to you. Appreciate all you guys being up in this bitch. I'll be going to pick up Junior in an hour or so. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to hearing his favorite part of the day. He always tries to tell me lunchtime. That doesn't count. PE. That doesn't count either. Obviously, that's your favorite time of the day. But I make him go a little more in-depth than that. They're doing math right now, so they're focusing on math. I said, are you understanding it pretty easy? He's like, yeah. He's a good reader. He is in second grade, but he's reading at a fourth grade level, which almost proved to be problematic. We'll get into that. Quentin, he's right. Hit that like button. Hit it. It's part of your routine when you come on in here. Hit that like button. You come in the house, you throw your keys in the bowl, or you hang them up on the hook, you kick your shoes off. Ladies, you take that bra off and let them titties go. Same thing here. Hit that thumbs up. Appreciate it. Make it part of your routine. And you guys, I got a bunch of, hold on a second. Took some of them in the house. Got a bunch of thank you cards that I'm sending out. And merch that I'm sending out. So if you want to send it old school, you want to drop me something in snail mail, go ahead. Put that in here. P.O. Box 806. Olivehurst, California. 95961. Eight. There it is. Bang. It's in the comment. Rebel without a reason. Yes. Nice titties you put in there. Appreciate it. Old Sweet Dick Maloney says Fetterman kisses his dad on the lips. Yeah, man, that's weird. Half penny link, appreciate it. Yeah, man, that's weird. You shouldn't do that, especially as a fully grown ogre. I mean, man, shouldn't be doing that. But speaking of Fetterneck, he was on the Colbert Show, whatever it's called, whichever one he took over and ran into the ground. Fetterneck was on there. I could only watch the first 9 minutes of the interview. I thought it was going to be like a one segment kind of thing. But at the end, he goes, and we'll be right back with more John Fetterman. I was like, oh, I can't do a round two. But I watched the first 9 minutes of it, and it was the dumpster fire that you thought it would be. I must say, this is the most coherent I've ever heard him. There was still some Fetterneck in there. Don't get me wrong. And you can't forget 95, 95, 95, all that crazy shit that he said. He's still like that, but this is the most coherent I've ever heard him. Queen Bee's Art Hive, what's up? So I'll give him that. But he said he told the truth. That's what I'm most proud of. And I'll mention one of his slip-ups and some of the equipment he had to use. And he says, and one of his quotes too, where he said the truth, the most truth that I'm sure has ever come out of that hole under his nose. But nonetheless, it was the truth. He said it pretty clearly, which was surprising. And I mentioned earlier my son, his how much he loves reading, and I'll do a video on this book. I'm gonna do a separate video on the book that he brought home from school yesterday. We'll leave it at that. Check out the video. And here's a question. Why are we sending weapons to Israel? No matter who's occupying who and who got there first, none of that means anything. None of that's relevant to this. I just mean Israel has the third largest air force in the world, and they're top 15 for most powerful military in the world. So why are we sending them stuff? That's what I don't understand. I don't understand why we're sending Israel $3 billion worth of military aid, and we're sending American ships to the region to show support. Why are we sending ships over there? Diesel, he says, we ain't going to have any weapons left. I was saying the same thing. I was talking to somebody the other day. We're sending shit over to Ukraine. Now we're sending shit to Israel. What's going to be left for us if we need it? Because it sounds like we're going to need it because we're sending so far, one battle group over there. Potentially going to send 2 battle groups over there to the Middle East. They call them battle groups for a reason. They're not hang out, have a good time groups. They're not called support groups. They're called battle groups. So why are we sending a battle group over there to the Middle East? I just don't understand. And they're not this lowly little country like Ukraine. Israel has a formidable military. Like I said, top 15 in the world, and they have the third largest air force in the world. So why do they need help from us? Just from a supply standpoint, why are we sending our stuff to a country that clearly has it? Maybe I'm underthinking it. Maybe there's some piece of the puzzle that I don't see. Please give it to me. I'd love to know. Nelly Mac 91, he says they'll ask American citizens to donate their guns. Yeah, it'll be like World War II, where they had the citizens had to, where they had silver or aluminum drives, sugar drives, rubber drives, where they would have trucks come down the middle of your street, and the people would pour out of their houses, donating all their aluminum, donating all their sugar. They weren't producing candy at one point. I don't know if it was all candy across the board. Could have been. But they cut back on production for things that the average everyday citizen needed for the war effort. Is that what it's going to come to? Except it's not our war. This time it won't be our war. This time it'll be a war for somebody else. But I still want to know, why are we sending military aid to a country that has a shitload of its own military aid? Rachel, welcome. Charles Turner Jr. I just dropped a card or I'm about to drop a card in the mail to you. I'm going to get into some of the numbers of what we give Israel every year. We'll get into the money we give them every year. And you still need help from us? What? We're giving you X amount of dollars for every year, and you still need help when the shit hits the fan. Heather, I got you. Don't even worry about it. I got you. So, it's just a couple questions I have there. Matter of fact, let's do that. Let's start with that. Let's get into the meat of it. I think you did, Heather. All is well. But so I mentioned top 15 most powerful military, third largest air force in the world. They have nuclear weapons. That's the ultimate say so. Rebel without a reason. Blinken said it was Trump's fault that we gave them $6 billion. Of course, it's Trump's fault that you gave Iran $6 billion 3 years into your presidency. But we give Israel $3 billion a year in military aid. Military aid. Military means bombs and guns and ammunition. Things of that nature, tanks. They have some F-35 Raptors. They got F-16s, F-15s. They have Apache attack helicopters. They got all kinds of shit. So if we're giving you $3 billion every year in military aid, why are we giving anybody money for military aid? Like every month? Lil John, what's up? What? Like if it's every month, that's not help, is it? Every month? Or every year or whatever, every year we're giving you guys that kind of money? Why? Why are we paying for other countries' militaries? That doesn't make any sense to me. Why are we doing it? And who else is sending money over to Israel? Well, that's them. That's their money. Fuck them. But American money, why are we sending that kind of money to another country every single year? Good point. The Golden Capstone, $3 billion for an area smaller than one of our states. Well, yeah, why? Where's all that going? You don't have that much country to pay for. Salty pureblood, false flag incoming. The government will bomb us and blame Iran so we can declare war and cancel the election. All part of the New World Order plan. also the Jews. Yeah, I mentioned something like that yesterday in the video. I think all the war age men that they're allowing to flood into our country also has something to do with that. You're putting your troops in place. You're putting your military assets in place. That's what you're doing. We brought you over here. We let you in this country. We're giving you all this shit. We're probably going to arm you. So you owe us. You vote for us to keep us in power forever. So that's what I think. I think that's part of it. Sarah's weight loss journey. Well, congratulations to you. Hope it's going well. This breaks my heart what's going on. I feel like so many people are asleep and don't realize what's truly going on. And I can't believe there are people that are justifying what Hamas has done. Disgusting. It is disgusting to treat people like that, to lob missiles at your enemy and then hide behind a school or in a building. That's terrible. To put the people in harm's way. It's unspeakable. I said in the video, I think Hamas and the IDF should go out in the desert, duke it out. Whoever wins, to the victor go the spoils. Settle it. It's like Bruce Lee said in Enter the Dragon. How come somebody doesn't go in there with a 45 and bang, settle it? Why not have it out once and for all? Don't be a bitch. Get out there in the desert, mano y mano. All of my shit that goes bang, pow, boom against all your shit that goes bang, pow, boom. And whoever's left standing, what we say is what it is. If we say you got to get the fuck out of here, guess what? You better warm up those Chevrolet legs and get going. You better start those Lamborghinis and get your ass out of here. But to see the civilians on both sides, it's always, like the Rostan Hodge. All right, cool. Hold on a second. I wish they would do that. It's always the civilians who suffer. When two elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers. And that's really terrible. Speaking of Bruce Lee. Kick the shit out. You ever have somebody in your life, just stop and think for a second. Is there somebody in your life that one time, maybe you've been taking so much shit off of this son of a bitch for years. Maybe they got a mouth on them. They always got something to say. They always got an opinion on some shit that has nothing to do with them. They're always putting you down. They're always making giving you backhanded compliments and snide remarks. Huh? Who in your life do you want to give this to? Just once. You know what? I'm sick of this shit. I'm sick of your shit. I'm sick of your damn mouth. Or maybe there's a public figure. Maybe there's somebody in the government that if you had one opportunity, tell them you better get your shit together. And hey, take this with you. Right? Hey, come here. No, Julie, don't start crying now. Why is my gas so damn high? Huh? Why am I paying 3 times this year what I was paying for the same damn thing last year? Right? Oh, the border's closed, huh? I'm sorry, how long are we going to be paying for Ukraine's existence? You get what I mean. You understand. Okay, Gerald Wenger. And I see the super chats. I will get to them, I promise. Thank you, guys. Gerald Wenger says, Jericho, we are sending a battle group into the region so that it deters any idiot country from jumping into this Hamas-Israel battle. We want to make sure that Israel does not have to fight 5 fronts. Gerald, that makes total sense. I agree. I agree that makes sense to do that. Nonetheless, if there is another country who is idiot enough to jump in, then us being there means that we have to jump in. And that's where I have a problem. That's where it's pretty shitty if we have to jump in this war. It's happened before. We just got out of the desert. We still have sand in our boots. We just got out of there. For the amount of years we were over there fighting in the desert, for the amount of years we were there, we just got home. We just got home. We just readjusted to life. We just acclimated ourselves to the weather at home, not the relentless beating of the sun. Just God. And here we go. And I mentioned that we're sending 1 battle group, potentially 2. And hold on. Yeah, Salty Pure Blood. Now we sent 2, USS Liberty, watch and see. Where is it? Where are you, tab? There you are. So, okay. See how U.S. Navy ships in the Mediterranean are positioned to support Israel. The Gerald R. Ford Carrier Strike Group, a force of 6 warships headed by the U.S. Navy's largest and most advanced nuclear aircraft carrier, arrived in the eastern Mediterranean Sea on Tuesday as part of the U.S. response to the attack by Hamas on Israel. So yeah, a carrier group, battle group, same thing. It's a carrier, supply ships, frigates, destroyers, submarine. It's basically everything you need to whoop somebody's ass. You have the supply ship, which I was on, that runs back and forth in and out of port, restocking on everything from belt buckles to bombs, food, explosives, weapons, fuel, jet fuel, diesel fuel, or I guess it's a nuclear sub, so it doesn't need fuel, but jet fuel for the planes. Everything you need is on that supply ship. That supply ship is a floating Costco, 200 feet wide, 800 feet long. The ship that I was on, so it's sizable, but it pales in comparison to an aircraft carrier. But a battle group or a carrier group is everything you need, Navy wise, on the seas to kick somebody's ass. Why is a strike group there, and what can it do? As laid out by the Secretary of Defense, their guidance is to make sure that there is no escalation around Israel, says Peter Daly, retired U.S. Navy Vice Admiral and CEO of U.S. Naval Institute. Their mission, as stated by the DoD, is to not let the neighbors join the party. What if those neighbors do want to join the party? Military moves like this are often considered a show of force. Though the Navy vessels can defend themselves if fired upon, they can't initiate an attack without authorization, of course. A second force, the four-ship Dwight D. Eisenhower Strike Group, will leave its home port of Norfolk, Virginia on Friday and sail to the Mediterranean. The Navy said the move, headed by the aircraft carrier USS Dwight D. Eisenhower, was a regularly scheduled deployment, but did not specify where it will go. So if they're leaving Virginia to there, it'll probably take about 2 weeks or something like that to get there. The Ford Strike Group, based in Norfolk, Virginia, was conducting naval exercises with Italy in the Ionian Sea last week. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the group's repositioning on Sunday. The Eisenhower was scheduled to deploy to the Mediterranean on a regular rotation, and the Ford is near the end of its deployment. The Associated Press reported, but the Biden administration may decide to extend the Ford's deployment and keep both strike groups out there. The White House spokesman John Kirby said Wednesday, and that sucks. I can speak to that. Probably on a much shorter extension than these guys had, but I do remember being overseas. We were like less than a month after a 6-month deployment. You've been gone. You've been thousands of miles away from home for 6 months. Most of it spent on the open seas. You're 3 weeks away from going home, and then you get word from the first you probably got lobster and steak for dinner. That lets you know you're getting lubed up for something. And get those pictures of filet mignon and lobster and all this shit. Get all the Red Lobster commercials out of your brain. It wasn't that good, but you knew you were getting fucked over and out. So we get a message from the CEO over the 1MC, and he tells us that we're being extended another 2 weeks. So these guys, if it's a conflict base like this, who knows how long they can be extended and how shitty it is. I mean, you have to experience to really know it. Maybe not on that level, but just to have in your mind, they've been for 6 months. You've known this is when we're coming back home, and then it's right there. You're about to start heading back home. You're about to go. You're about to retrace your steps and see some of those landmarks and passageways you haven't seen for 6 months since you came out here. I'm heading back, and then you get extended. It sucks. So, hey, heart goes out to those guys and gals. What can the Navy ships do? Strike group options include supporting the Israeli military, including transfer of weapons, conducting intelligence surveys, communicating early warnings of attacks to Israeli forces. So we're kind of getting involved from a surveillance standpoint, I guess, and we'll be supplying them weapons. So kind of Ukrainian-esque. Much of this isn't new. The U.S. and Israel have a history of sharing intelligence and information. Daly says it goes both ways. The guided missile cruiser and the destroyers also could help defend Israel from missile attacks from Iran, according to breakingdefense.com, but the ships can't offer adequate protection against attacks from Gaza or Lebanon. Against Iran, the surface ships have that capability. The guided missile cruisers and 3 guided missile destroyers can engage medium-range ballistic missiles, the class of weapon Iran would use. Oof. So that's what we got in the region, people. That's what we got in the region. More on the way. More on the way. So, Gerald, you're right. They're there to make sure that people don't act up. Nobody jumps in. You know, hey, just watch my back, fool. Make sure I don't get jumped. I remember I had a fight with this kid in 8th grade, and I saw the kid that I didn't like. The other guy, I was cool with him or whatever, but the kid that I was going to get in a fight with, I see him walking toward me, and I see him walking with a friend. So I was like, these fools are about to jump me. And then I go, so what's up? So what I said, what's up? You guys are going to jump me? And he goes, no, I'm just here to make sure nobody jumps in. Eh? So I guess that's what like America's doing for, make sure nobody jumps in, just fucking one-on-one. Eh? But let's say, you got the former head of Hamas or one of their higher ups or something like that saying there's going to be a day of worldwide jihad on Friday the 13th, which is mañana. So sounds to me like somebody else could jump in. And if they do, what if us warning Israel, that one of the other parties involved sees it as an act of war? Who knows? But definitely going over in that theater is more than I'd like us to do. I'll put it that way. But it's important to show appreciation. John Miller. You lose. John Miller. Remember, there was a Bruce Lee movie. What was it? Game of Death. You lose. Carl Miller. Thanks, man. I appreciate the Hamilton. Reaching way up my generosity for you, bro. Felt like you kept me sane during 2020 when BLM was going crazy with their garbage and the demon rats gave it a big old thumbs up. They sure did. You can't do shit like that in a country like this without the backing of some powerful perverts. Thank you, John. Appreciate that. Cole JC. You know, you're a badass. Your name's Cole. Hey, my name's JC. Cole JC. Cole JC, thank you for the Hamilton. He says, honest question. What's in worse shape, New York or California? I would say I'd probably say California, only because we've been at it for longer and it's on a bigger scale, much bigger scale than New York. So I would say we're doing worse, but man, New York is nipping at those communist heels, though. They are letting those illegals pour into New York City. And Mayor Adams, just the other day, he said, we believe, this is a direct quote, we believe that the border should remain open. End quote. But they told us that the border was closed or it was secure. Then why was he mere weeks ago saying that this influx of migrants is going to destroy the city of New York? He said it was going to destroy it. But then you come back from Mexico and say, we believe the border should stay open. What up with that? The purple one, thank you. Hey, Jericho Green. Hey, the purple one. Appreciate that. Preach. Okay, so see if I can get to Okay, here we go. So typical carrier strike group composition. It says carrier strike groups are not restricted to a specific composition and can be modified depending on expected threats, roles, or missions during a development or deployment, and one may be different from another. The Navy states that there really is no real definition of a strike group. Strike groups are formed and de-established or disestablished on an as-needed basis, and one may be different from another. However, they all are comprised of similar types of ships. A U.S. Navy carrier strike group typically includes a supercarrier, which is the centerpiece of the strike group and also serves as the flagship for the carrier strike group commander and respective staff. The carrier is commanded by an aviation community captain. A carrier air wing, CVW, typically consisting of up to 9 squadrons. Carrier air wings are commanded by an aviation community captain or occasionally a Marine colonel. 1 or 2 Aegis guided missile cruisers, CG, of the Ticonderoga class. I remember those pencils? If you knew about pencil fighting, you know what a Ticonderoga is. A multi-mission surface combatant equipped with BGM 109 Tomahawk missiles for long-range strike capability, each commanded by a surface community captain. A destroyer squadron commanded by a surface community captain, 06, who commands the escort destroyers with 2 or 3 guided missile destroyers. The Arleigh Burke class, a multi-mission surface combatant used primarily for anti-aircraft and anti-submarine warfare. Up to 2 attack submarines used to screen the strike group against hostile surface ships and submarines, which also carry Tomahawk missiles for long-range strike capability. These would be commanded by a submarine community commander, 05. Means officer level 5. A combined ammunition oiler and supply ship, AOE, usually supplies class, provides logistics support. While the carrier strike group is the various components, operational superior, administratively, the ships and the carrier air wing are assigned to different U.S. Navy type commands. Okay, so see if we can get a picture of that. So there you go. All right, let me share this with you so we can get a pic of what a carrier strike group looks like. There we go. So we got a couple carriers there. Those are your destroyers. Whoops. Let's go back. Those are your destroyers and stuff on the outside. Submarine, obviously, it's underwater. This is probably the supply ship. Here, it's the carrier. These are all 3 carriers. This one's called Silver. It looks like 2 super carriers. Like they said, the compositions can be different. But this is basically it. And the carrier and the supply ship are like the 2 most valuable parts. That's what all these dudes on the outside are for, to support or to protect them. Now, when you're underway, it's not always like this. You're not traveling in this group all the time. The only time we saw other ships is when we were doing UNREP, underway replenishment, where you link up in the middle of the water and you send supplies over to them. So that was the only time we ever saw the other ships. It wasn't like you come up on the main deck and look over and see your shipmates out here on their on their boats. It wasn't like that. Everybody was off doing separate shit. The submarine was always somewhere under here watching, but you didn't travel like this. You would think so, like especially seeing them old World War II movies and shit, that everybody moves in a group like that, but that wouldn't be very smart. If shit kicks off, everybody's in one place to get fucked up. So yeah, but that's what the carrier strike group, battle group, that's what it looks like. There is a new fuckery channel, and We should have one on today. I just gotta figure out some technical shit. I'm the wrong person to be doing that. Authentically Kennedy, what up, Gary? And I have a new channel called Green's House. And every week I put up a new interview. The first one is with Dean Cain. It's up there right now. I also have some other very interesting people coming up, some very cool jobs, cool stories to tell about experiences. And I was thinking about some other stuff. See, what I need to do is learn how to find people. And one thing I was thinking about, you ever see that show? Was it I Survived? Like, to get in touch with people like that who tell stories about, yeah, I was stabbed in the head 4 times by by this clown that I hired for a birthday party. Like, some crazy shit. No, it's not Oscar Gonzalez. It's not Weed House. It's Green's House, as in Jericho Green's house. Get your head out of the smoke shop. Get your mind out of the smoke shop. Hell, Heather says, great interview. Love it. Cool. Thank you. There'll be more. Alien Testosterone says, JG was a glory hole first mate, allegedly. You were private pants down in the Army. Private no pants. That's how you were known. Private, anybody can get it. Your name was Private. Go ahead. Private, you said you wouldn't come in me. Taryn Lewis, what's up, man? Glad to see you here. Good to see you. But yeah, that's what we've sent over to the Middle East. And again, those groups, those battle groups or carrier strike groups, they're not over there to hang out. They're over there in case something happens. We have the means to get down. We have the means to neutralize the threat with extreme prejudice. And once that happens, then how do we get out? J954, what up? Alien Testosterone is not gay in a foxhole. Hey, man, I wouldn't know. Is that what you call it, a foxhole? You guys want to go in the foxhole? But if that happens, if we have to interfere, some might say, what if somebody takes a shot at us, takes a shot at one of our ships? That'd be your final mistake. But that would force us to get involved. So once we do, how do we get out? Is it another 20 years? Is it as simple as, hey, well, we were defending ourselves? I don't know, man. It's just fucking, it's messy. It's stepping in a fresh pile of dog shit. You'll never get that off your shoe. We'll never get out of there. We'll be stuck there for another 20, 25 years. Oh, leave, man. Those sons of bitches. Those sons of bitches. All right, let's laugh at John Fetterman. How's that sound? How's that sound? How does that sound? You guys want to laugh at John Fetterneck? Okay. So that's why I named this live stream here. Here's Johnny, because John Fetterman was on the what was it? The Stephen Colbert Show, I guess it's called. One of those unfunny shows that come on late at night. And first of all, of course, he wears his trademark hoodie and basketball shorts, dressed like a lesbian basketball coach. And he comes in, and Stephen Colbert, you can tell that he's handling him with kid gloves. He's interviewing him like he's interviewing a really smart 4-year-old who memorized the phone book, or a 4-year-old who can play Beethoven. You know, they interview little kids like that. So, your mom tells us that you also like to play with Legos. And is it true? My producers tell me that your favorite sandwich is peanut butter and marshmallow. Is that true? I like marshmallows too. You know, I have little kids your age, and sometimes we'll just hang out on a Sunday and we'll eat peanut butter and marshmallow sandwiches all day long. That's how he was talking to him. And he had this little laptop that was propped up on the desk, and he asked me, he's like, so tell me about this equipment here. And he's like, well, you know, after I had my stroke, and he talks about having a stroke and how he was on his way to an event. And his wife says, hey, wait a minute, you're having a stroke. And he was like, wait, what do you mean? I don't even feel anything. And he said part of his face was paralyzed, his face was drooping. And then he says, no, honey, we got to go. The primary was a few days ago. I think he meant primary is in a few days. But he had this little laptop up there that was helping him understand what Stephen Colbert was saying, because sometimes it gets lost between the person's mouth and between his ears and his brain. You know, something gets jumbled up and he has a hard time understanding it. That's fine. People need help after they sustain strokes or other medical issues. That I don't have a problem with that. No shit. I wish that everybody who needed things like that could have them. But the problem is that you are a U.S. senator. That's the problem. It's the job you hold. You sustained severe brain trauma. You were in the hospital for 2 months. I don't think this is the job for you. That's the problem. It's not the fact that you had a stroke. Shit happens. That's too bad. That's terrible you had a stroke. He has a family. But that doesn't mean you should hold the position of a senator in the United States government. And here's the truth that he told. This is and I quote, you all need to know that America is not sending their best and brightest to D.C. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. That, my friend, is the truth. The truest words ever spoken is that we do not have our best and brightest in Washington, D.C. Hell yeah. But to say that America is not sending, you're saying we're voting. What he's saying is we're voting for these jackasses. It's our fault that they're there. Case in point, you are the personification of that quote. You are not the best or the brightest, yet there you sit in D.C. And if you get up the gastrointestinal fortitude to watch this, look at how Stephen Colbert is talking to him and the way he's asking the questions, like he's talking to a child. Like he's talking to a child prodigy. Like he's talking to a 5-year-old who can recite all of the presidents in order. Okay. Why isn't this dude somewhere recovering? Why isn't Sloppy Joe somewhere recovering? Under normal circumstances, I would hope nobody would make fun of them. But they are thrust into the front row of this movie we call life. One of them is the resident of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, and the other one is a damn senator for the state of Pennsylvania. Neither one of them should be there. That's why I make fun of them. It's absolutely ridiculous. Man, we have those two in our federal government. Fetterman can't understand what you're saying without electronic aid. T. Lawton, you never recover from a stroke. I believe it. That's lack of blood flow to your brain. Dude. This fool should be in a recovery unit somewhere. And this fool is sitting. This fool has an office in the Capitol building. He has a name placard on the outside of his office. He has a staff. This fool has a staff dressing like a fucking bum. Like he just rolled from under an overpass before he came to work. And the way he answers the questions, he's like, you know, like he's giving himself like Colbert would say the question, and when he was done talking, it still took a few seconds for him to process it and understand it. Honestly. So Colbert would finish talking, and then he was a couple seconds behind, and then he would respond. Politics isn't the job for you, buddy. Sorry. Go do something else. Go chase people through the swamp. I don't know, try to steal a princess out of a castle. What do ogres do? I don't know. I haven't watched Shrek in a while. But part of the United States federal government, that's on the no-go list. That's on the no list, the naughty list. We're not going to do that. We can't do that. Are there other countries in the world who employ people in their government who have suffered brain trauma? Is there a Biden? Is there a sloppy Joe Fetterneck counterpart anywhere else in the world? Are there? Is there another leader? Oh, it tasted like stomach bile to say that. Is there a sloppy Joe counterpart? Can you send me footage of another president or prime minister or whatever, king, with his kind of issues? I haven't seen it. I do this for a living and I haven't come across it. I think we're the only ones. We're the unicorn. We're the dummy unicorn. America is the unicorn with brain damage. Like it can't fly straight. The horn's crooked. That's what we have. We're the unicorn. We're the only country in the world with clowns like this at the controls. You want Sloth from Goonies to be your Uber driver? Probably not, huh? Anybody else in the world? No. We are a unicorn in that sense. A unicorn, brain damage. Brian Hendricks, Three Stooges in control. At least the Three Stooges were funny. The Three Stooges could get shit done. Yes, there's a lot of and all that. Wise guy. But they got it done. At the end, they were standing there shaking hands with some dignitary getting a medal pin on their chest. Diesel says that's an insult to Sloth. Agreed. He didn't deserve that. That's right, alien testosterone. Don't forget, guys. Sloppy Joe said about our Constitution, you know, the foundation. He said, you know, the thing. It's the thing. You all know it. I don't need to know it. You know it. As my son would say, Dad, I think that guy has special effects. You damn right he does. You damn right he does. That thing does not work. So, anyway, guys, as I mentioned, I'm going to go pick up Junior. And then we got to go pick up his sister and her friend because they have a volleyball game. So that's super exciting. They won the last one. They got blown. So they do 3 sets. They got blown out pretty bad on the first one. They came back. It was a little closer. It was much closer. It came down to the game point. It was 24-24. Real close in the second one. And then they beat them pretty good in the third one. So far, they're undefeated. So very proud. My daughter scored 2 points last week. So we're doing it. We are doing it. So I'll see you guys mañana. For our usual Friday live stream. Got over 200 people in this bitch today. Good job. Don't forget to go over to my new channel, Green's House. Subscribe. Check out the video. About an hour and a half, I sat down with the man, the myth, the legend, Dean Cain. Yes, that Dean Cain, as in the 90s, The Adventures of Lois and Clark. He played Superman. So check out that interview. We talk about a wide array of things. It's a bit of a departure from the social political commentary I do here. I want you to see another side of me. Go check it out. Green's House. And you know what? Let's see. We put a link to it. So, Ooh, which one is it? Okay, hold on. I gotta go get the link because there's like 3 YouTube links there. I don't know which one it is. And I got 800 subscribers, so I'm coming up on 1,000. That's one of the requirements you have to meet to get monetized. So I appreciate that, guys. Almost 1,000 subscribers. Copy the link. Okay, let me go back. There's the alarm to go get Junior. Okay. Back in the comment section. Boom, there it is. So that's the link to One second, I'm trying to pin it. Okay, so yeah, that's the link to the Dean Cain interview. Check it out. Subscribe to the channel. I think it should be much easier than it was, being that I kind of already have an audience here on this channel. So the migration over to the new one, I think should be pretty easy. I think I've proven myself. I'm okay at this YouTube thing, right? Wouldn't you say? Say you love me. Sorry about that. I almost lost it. Mousy, thank you. Thank you, Mousy, for the Hamilton. He says 1 for the road. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And if nothing else, I think we're done. And I appreciate you guys being here. Michael Summers, thank you. Appreciate you guys, your time, your questions, your comments, your super chats, everything. Just being you and being here and sharing this space. Yeah? Appreciate you guys. Tomorrow, we'll be right back here doing what we do. Same bat time, same bat channel. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell, because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. Hit the Teespring link to get some merch. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.